Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Okay, picture this with me, if you will. It's a bitter, really unforgiving winter night. We're in Hallowell, Maine, way back in 1789. The Kennebec River, usually full of life, right? Now it's just frozen solid, a tomb, essentially. And trapped right there in the ice is a body. What a way to start a story, huh? This image, it's really chilling, and it's our jumping off point today. We're diving into Ariel Lawhon's historical mystery, the Frozen River.
It really is a powerful opening. And for this deep dive, we went right to the source material available online, specifically the book's Amazon listing. It's kind of amazing how much you can actually pull from just that one page. We've looked at, the description, the editorial reviews, some really insightful ones there, plus tons of customer comments, and even a gripping excerpt from the book.
Yeah, and it's all there in English, right? So accessible.
Exactly. Makes it easy to get a feel for the story quickly.
It really does. It's fascinating how that structure, just having that information laid out, lets you grasp the core of it almost instantly. So, our mission today, let's unpack what makes this book tick. Why is it a New York Times bestseller? A GMA book club pick. We'll get into the mystery, the main character, Martha Ballard, and the whole historical world it creates.
Okay, so let's really paint that picture, drawing from the book itself. Hallowell, Maine, 1789, winter. And the Kennebec River freezes up a whole month early. That's not normal. And then they find the body trapped under the ice. The excerpt describes these large chunks of ice swirling and clear, cold fingers of ice spreading out. Stark stuff.
Wow. Sets a grim mood.
Definitely. They apparently called it the year of the long winter. Just a time of real hardship, isolation for that community.
And the body itself? This is where it gets complicated, right? It's not just a random person.
No, not at all. Turns out the dead man is one of two pretty respected guys in town. And these two men had been accused of rape some months earlier.
An alleged rape. Okay. And the connection?
The connection is Martha Ballard. She's a local midwife, a healer, respected. And she had actually documented the details of that alleged rape accusation in her diary, months before this body was found.
So the discovery immediately links back to this earlier event through her records. That's intense.
It is. And then you get this immediate clash. Martha's called to examine the body. She knows her stuff, right? Midwife, healer. But her findings contradicted. A local male physician comes in and just declares it an accident.
Even though she likely had more practical experience.
Precisely. It's a clear undermining of her knowledge. And remember, this is a time when women couldn't even testify in court. So when the official explanation ignores her findings, she's basically left with no choice. If she wants the truth out, she has to investigate herself.
Which must have been incredibly difficult and probably dangerous.
Absolutely. Which leads us to her most powerful tool, her diary.
Ah, yes, the diary. Tell us about that. It sounds central.
Oh, it absolutely is. This isn't just, Dear Diary stuff. It's a meticulous record. She wrote down everything. Every birth she attended, every death, crimes, local squabbles, everything happening in Hallowell, all in her own hand.
Wow, so it's like the town's unofficial chronicle.
Kind of, yeah. And this diary becomes the bedrock for the whole investigation, the scandal, the trial that follows. It's got the facts documented, and it starts pointing fingers, even towards people close to her.
And the fact it was written down on paper, that carried weight differently than just her word, I imagine, especially as a woman then.
Exactly. Paper and ink don't get emotional. They don't forget. They just state what was recorded. In a society that easily dismissed women's voices, her written English account was harder to ignore.
Okay, so let's talk about Martha Ballard herself. She sounds incredible. Is she entirely fictional?
Well, that's what's so compelling. She's based on a real historical figure. The real Martha Ballard lived from 1735 to 1812. And the records show she delivered over 1,000 babies.
1,000. That's staggering for that era.
It really is. And get this, the sources say she never lost a single mother or child in childbirth during her practice.
That's unbelievable. Just incredible skill and dedication.
Truly. So the novel takes this real, remarkable woman as its inspiration.
And how do the reviews describe the character in the book? Does she come across as this capable?
Oh, absolutely. Readers and reviewers consistently call her things like brave and outspoken. She's described as a truth speaker and a justice seeker. You get this sense of a really strong-willed person.
Someone who wouldn't back down easily.
Right. Someone who triumphs through resilience and, as one review puts it, refused to accept anything less than justice at a time when women were considered best seen and not heard.
You can really feel that determination just from those descriptions.
Right.
A force to be reckoned with.
Definitely. And there's a specific quote from the book that seems to resonate hugely with readers, something that gets highlighted a lot.
Oh, what's that?
It goes, Memory is a wicked thing that warps and twists. But paper and ink receive the truth without emotion, and they read it back without partiality.
Powerful.
It continues. That, I believe, is why so few women are taught to read and write. God only knows what they would do with the power of pen and ink at their disposal.
Wow. Okay, that hits hard. It connects literacy directly to power, especially for women.
Exactly. It frames her diary not just as a record, but as an act of claiming power, of wielding truth in a society designed to silence her. Her ability to write it down, in clear English, made her observations tangible, undeniable in a way her spoken word might not have been.
It transforms the diary into this potent symbol of resistance almost.
In a way, yes, a tool for truth.
Was she doing this all alone? Did she have support?
That's another aspect the book highlights nicely, her husband Ephraim. Readers describe him really positively, like a perfect partner.
That's refreshing to hear for that time period.
Isn't it? He's seen as strong, trusting, industrious, and helpful. Someone who genuinely supports her work, respects her intelligence, even when things get risky. There's also this broader sense of Ballard family unity that comes through, which readers found really uplifting, a kind of solidarity within the home.
That provides a really interesting contrast to the conflict and suspicion outside, I bet.
It does. It grounds her.
Okay, so let's maybe zoom out a bit. Beyond the plot and characters, what about the bigger themes, the historical context?
Well, the historical authenticity is something reviewers consistently praise. It's called an authentic foray into the past, packed with rich period detail.
So you really feel like you're in 18th century Maine.
Yeah, the descriptions of daily life, the medicine, the social norms, it sounds very well researched. But it's not just a history lesson. It uses that setting to explore themes that, honestly, still feel very relevant.
Like what specifically?
Well, definitely the unbalanced power dynamics,
Yeah.
between men and women, obviously, but also between the rich and the poor. You see how class and gender intersects to determine whose voice gets heard, whose life matters more.
And the justice system aspect, you mentioned it was developing.
Right. The book apparently gives a fascinating look at the early stages of a developing justice system, right after the Revolutionary War. The country was new, figuring things out. What does justice even look like? How do you enforce laws? Martha's fight becomes a sort of microcosm of that larger struggle.
And that struggle feels familiar, maybe.
That's what reviewers keep pointing out. The book draws these really clear parallels between Martha's struggles and the continuing fight of victims to be believed here in the 21st century.
Okay. So it connects directly to contemporary issues around belief and testimony, especially for women or those challenging power.
Precisely. It makes you think about how far we've come, but also how some fundamental challenges persist. That fight for recognition, for your truth to be acknowledged.
It sounds like it balances history and mystery really well then.
That's definitely one of its strengths, according to readers. It's praised as both a historical novel and a gripping historical mystery. Some even call it a propulsive historical thriller.
So it keeps you hooked while also immersing you in the past.
Exactly. Offers that blend of history, mystery, and just the right amount of emotion, as one person put it. It seems to hit a sweet spot for a lot of different readers.
And that really comes down to the author, Ariel Lawhon. What's her background?
She's well established. An award-winning, critically acclaimed, New York Times best-selling author. Historical fiction is her specialty. People praise her ability to take potentially dense topics interesting.
How does she do that, according to the reviews?
By masterfully blending real historical figures and events with a gripping murder investigation. She takes the real Martha Ballard, the real diary, the real setting.
And weaves a compelling fictional narrative around them.
Exactly. She makes history feel alive, urgent, human. It's not just facts on a page, it's an immersive story. And her use of the actual diary, this primary source written in English, allows her to build that bridge so effectively from the past to the reader today. It grounds the fiction in a tangible reality.
So wrapping this up then, why should someone listening pick up The Frozen River, or at least why does this deep dive matter for you?
Well, I think it gives you this incredible window, doesn't it? Into a specific historical moment, yes, but through the eyes of someone truly extraordinary. You get insights into justice, resilience, how societal biases worked then and maybe still work now.
And the power of a voice, especially a documented one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The power of a single voice committed to paper in plain English to challenge the status quo. It shows how historical stories can powerfully echo contemporary struggles for truth and recognition. It makes the past feel intensely relevant.
It really does.
And maybe it leaves you with a final thought to chew on. We have Martha Ballard's diary, this amazing record. But think about it. How many other stories, particularly women's stories, from history, are lost simply because they didn't have the means or the freedom or maybe the literacy to write them down?
That's a sobering thought.
Yeah. How many other unsung heroines are out there whose experiences we'll never know? Imagine the richness, the different perspectives we'd have access to in English or any language if more voices had been recorded. Martha's diary is incredible, but it also highlights what's potentially missing from our historical understanding.
A powerful point to end on. We hope this deep dive has given you a great shortcut to understanding the frozen river, its amazing protagonist, and its resonant themes. Maybe it's one for your reading list. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.